The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Special meeting of the White Pine County Commission, January 4th, 2021.
Here shortly, so go ahead. Good morning and welcome to the Monday, January 4th special county commission meeting. Elizabeth, why don't you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as is normal, we will spend the first moment for meditation, prayer, whatever you'd like. Okay, we'll open the meeting on page 2. The first item on the agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment on the phone?
Not that I can see.
Okay. Let's look for public comment within the building. Anybody? George?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, per the Governor's Assistant Act Directive 024, Section 5, which states individuals not exempted by this directive or guidance issued by the Nevada Health Response shall be required to cover their nose and mouth with a mask or face covering in a public space, whether publicly owned, or privately owned, whether the public has access by right or invitation, expressed or implied, whether by payment of money or not. Again, Commissioner Bullis has attended now approximately 21 meetings that I've attended and has not worn a mask. As a public official who took an oath to enforce and abide by our laws, he needs to comply or resign. The rest of the commission also has the same obligation. You have to enforce the rules and regulations, whether you like them or not, or change them. If you don't change them, you have to abide by them. We have stress in the business community because we can get fined for non-compliance with a mask law. The numbers are not getting any better. It's not a fluke. It's a lot more than the flu. We need to address that. And most of that comes from public officials leading the way. You guys aren't doing that. And in particular, Mr. Bullis. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item B1 regarding request for appointments to county advisory boards, I do not see other names that have been submitted for consideration. Did you scratch all those off, or what's the occasion here? Some that you have listed do not live permanently in the county as required by NRS. Some do not meet the minimum requirements. Others have a poor track record. Mr. Chairman, I'm hearing that the new courthouse and jail expansion is highly over budget, possibly $1 million or more. I want to know if that's true. I want to know if the building inspector is any part of that financial fiasco, if it is true. I've heard no reports, now I'm hearing rumors. The taxpayer deserves the truth and accountability. know. Mr. Chairman, at the Ely Municipal Utility Board meeting held on December 10, 2020, Councilman Jim Oliver told the utility board that the golf course has used approximately 111 million gallons or more of water that has not been paid for. I want to know if the county has been billed for that. The city has a poor record of being accountable for proper billing. I'm a victim of that. And now I hear someone is using 111 million gallons of water and hasn't paid for it. In the previous meeting to that, they discovered the meter going to the golf course had duct tape in it. How does that happen? We get a duct stuck in there somehow? There's fraud going on there, Mr. Chairman. I'm a victim. I want accountability. I want equal protection under the law, and I don't want to see this kind of scam going on. You gotta
Okay.
address that.
You're 3 minutes or up, George. Thank you for your comments.
I'll be back.
Okay. Is there any other public comment on the phone at this time? Any other in the building? Is there anybody on the phone? Last call. Hearing none and seeing none, we're gonna move forward with the meeting. On page 2, item 1, County Commission. Item A is the discussion for possible selection of the County Commission Chairman for 2021. Do we have anyone? Any nominations? Anybody?
I'll nominate Richard House for chairman.
I'll second that.
Motion by, any other comment? Motion by Travis, second by Lori. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. Item B is discussion for possible action, the selection of the County Commission Vice Chairman for 2021. Any nominations or anybody?
Like to nominate Travis.
Second.
Okay, a motion by
Aye.
Travis and a second by Shane. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. Thank you all for your confidence and I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item C is discussion for possible action of the approval of county commission liaison appointments. Does anybody have any preference on their liaison appointments? Or any additions, subtractions? I think we'll start with Shane. Do you have anything with your appointments you would like to change or switch?
No, I have no real issues with anyone.
Okay, Lori?
Yeah, I have more than anybody,
Okay,
and I needed to clarify the emergency management under yours is also the same thing, Office of Emergency Services, which would be mine.
and that's correct. We combined those earlier on, so emergency management is combined with the fire, and that's good. So I will be off emergency management, and that would go to Lori. And then, anything else?
And, yeah, where I have as many as I do, and Ian, you have the least.
Yep.
I need to get rid of one, and I'm looking at the local emergency planning committee.
Yep, I don't mind being on this.
All right, that'd be great.
Okay, so Lefsey, it goes from Lori to Ian. Is that good?
Yeah, and then I can be the alternate on that if need be.
Sure.
Is that it, Lori?
Yes. thank you.
Okay, Travis, do you have any?
I got no issues with mine.
Okay, and Ian?
Other than adding that one, I'm good where I'm at.
Okay, so, let's see, so with that being said and everybody being discussed, I'd like to get a motion to accept the liaison appointments for 2021. Is that right, Mike?
Yes. I move to approve with the changes, the liaison appointments for 2021.
Second.
Motion by Lori and a second by Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, passed unanimous. Item D is a discussion for possible action, the approval of resolution 2021-01, a resolution providing for the adoption of an amended interlocal cooperative agreement and authorization membership thereby to the Northeast Nevada Regional Development Authority, NNRDA. Shane.
Yeah, this is just an update to our agreement with them. We've added a couple of new counties and some cities in there. We've got Humboldt and Pershing counties along with Lovelock and Winnemucca have come on as members, so that's necessary to just update our new contract to be a participant in NRDA.
Okay, and Is that a motion?
I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Shane,
Second?
second by Lori. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, passed unanimous. Item C is discussion for possible action, the approval to appoint Gary Perea and Jeremy Drew as points of contact for the Pine Valley Water Supply Project located in Iron and Beaver County, Utah. And that's by me. I had a request from those two, and I spoke to Gary. No better person than Gary, because he was on the initial one with SNWA. And to appoint, and Jeremy certainly does a great job with us on that, so if the commission would agree, I'd ask for approval to appoint those two members to that board.
Motion to approve?
And motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Shane. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. Item D, elected officials. Nicole, I'll turn this over to you. It's discussion for possible action, the approval of the requests for appointments to the White Pine County Advisory Boards and Town Councils.
Yes, thank you. We've been advertising for several weeks in the paper for these vacant seats and expiring seats, hoping to get some community members to request to be appointed to fill them. Unfortunately, we've had no new people want to sit on these boards. The people that you're looking at here, I think with the exception of somebody on Newtown Council, everybody on this first item A is seeking reappointment for the boards that they currently sit on.
Mike, should we just go through each one of them and approve them all as a whole, or should we approve each one individually?
At this time, you can ask any of the members of the board if they have any changes or anything they want to do with any of these reappointments. And
Okay,
if
I'll
not,
ask the members of the commission, do you have, looking at what's in front of us, the appointments, does anybody have a problem with any of this stuff? And we can go through it and make a blanket approval of all of them, if there's no problem with any of them. And Nicole will read them off, and then we'll vote at the end. How's that? Is that good?
yeah, so if there were other applicants or any kind of these positions contested, or there's any, now would be the time to pull it out and re-advertise for specific positions. And if there is nothing like that at all, you just go ahead and make a motion to approve all of them.
And then we'll do B and C after that. Okay, so go ahead and read them off, Nicole, and if you would, for the record.
Yes, Wayne Cameron is seeking reappointment to the Regional Transportation Commission. On the Public Lands Users Advisory Committee, we have William Wilson representing hunting and fishing, Craig Baker representing livestock grazing, and Mark Teff representing outdoor recreation, all three seeking reappointment. On Local Emergency Planning Committee, we have Brett North, Fire Chief, Bill Calderwood, Public Works Director, Robert Winder representing the Ministerial Association, and Marion Perez representing Duckwater Emergency Services, all seeking to be reappointed to LEPC. Two people on Tour and Rec have gotten their letters into me, one being Marietta Henry representing local motel owner, and Caroline McIntosh representing local commercial interests. I did get a letter from Brian Goringer, but it just didn't get to me in time for this agenda, so we'll be reappointing him on the 13th. Audit Committee is reappointing Mike Weeple as an elected official and Art Olson as an at-large member. Baker Area Citizens Advisory Board is reappointing David Kuiper and Elizabeth Woolsey. And on the Golf Advisory Board, Stan Roberts is being reappointed as an at-large member.
Okay, any questions by anybody on the commission? After hearing those, I'll look for a motion to approve all of the appointments as read.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Ian. Second. Second by Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. We'll now go to item B on page 3. Discussion for possible action, the approval of a request for the resignation by Jonathan DeShong from the Root Town Council. Anybody got a problem with that? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve?
Motion by Travis,
Second?
second by Lori. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. Item C, discussion for possible action, the approval of a request for appointment by Gene Ocker to sit on the Root Town Council board. Anybody got a question on that?
Gene used to be on the Root Town Council and he had some medical issues and had to step down, but he is willing to step back up and sit on this board, so he's asking for your
Gene
approval.
was a tremendous asset on that board, and he was there before, so I would move to approve.
Okay, motion by Shane,
Second.
second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passed unanimous. Item D. Item D is discussion for possible action, approval to post the position for deputy county clerk, grade 123, step X, at $17.13 an hour, immediately due to an unexpected recent resignation. Nicole?
Yes, thank you. I asked Tim to allow me to put this item on the agenda today because I just can't wait until the 13th. I really need to start posting for this position, and I'm here to ask you guys to allow me to do that. In the backup material, Tim provided some information, hopefully in support of my request, and that you take that into consideration. Which is just to give you a little background on what's been going on in my office. You probably recall about a year ago, I asked for a half-time position because of the legislative session from 2019. It dumped a bunch of additional work on my office that we're still performing. You gave me the half-time position, and that was great. That position helped us get through the beginning of AVR, which is automatic voter registration, which means everybody who goes to get a driver's license will get an automatic voter registration application passed through if they choose not to sign this little box. So that causes a lot of work for us because it's not always handled appropriately at the DMV level. Secondly, it was an election year last year, and on top of it being an election year, we had a bunch of additional laws to enact and enforce and try to figure out how we're gonna make it work. We also had software conversions. What felt insurmountable last year, we were able to get through thanks to you guys and your understanding when I needed the halftime position, and I'm grateful for that. We lost the halftime position, and I lost my chief deputy, and you guys know that Susan has not been here most of this year. Her absence it causes a tremendous amount of work for the rest of my office, including me. I can tell you things aren't getting done that need to get done. You guys know the mistakes I've made with Wildlife Advisory Board. I made a mistake. McGill Town Council, they had to reschedule. Mistakes are happening. I can't keep up with this workload. I'm asking you to please allow me to repost for this position.
Thank you. Anybody got any comment or any notes to Nicole? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Ian, second by Lori. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
None, passed unanimous. We've now come to the end of the meeting, and the last thing on the agenda is public comment. Is there anybody on the phone that would like to comment on what's taken place this morning? Anyone? Hearing none, I'll ask members of the audience, anyone in the audience? George, if you like.
Be right there.
Ready?
Mr. Chairman, you didn't recognize me, I had my hand up earlier. I applied for the regional transportation, I also applied for the White Pine County Tour and Rec. And I had a date stamp on the last day, but I wasn't considered. I don't appreciate that. You have people on there that represent the motels, don't even own a motel, don't even live here full time. You have a person that may represent the hotels, does not have the hotel. That is wrong. You got rules and regulations, either you change them or you abide by them. I resent all of this. You're cutting people out, you're selectively enforcing the law, and it needs to stop. Earlier I left off in accountability for the possible over expenditures at the new courthouse in Carroll. I reminded the commission by has yet to count with approximately 15 years of track rental fees from S&S Shoreline when he sat as chairman. We're losing money down the drain here.
That's a city issue,
Yes.
George.
That's on you. That's
City
on you,
issue,
Mr. Chairman. I want to remind you. I have not received your written statements regarding the numerous concerns that I have brought before the county commission. I deserve more than just a cold shoulder, Mr. Chairman. I want equal protection under the law. I have the right to ask questions. I have the right to get an answer. You have an obligation to fulfill that. Mr. Chairman, reported more than once, a new parking lot design at the convention center does not meet ADA standards.
We addressed that already, George.
You have not.
Yes,
It's
we
not
have.
in
That's
compliance.
enough of that one.
Mr. Chairman, I've told you and the city council, the planning commission has yet to address city code violations.
Those are city issues, George, we're a county commission, that's it.
And county, you're not
It's the
complying with
turn
the
back,
law.
where it's at.
I wanna know how many discrepancies I've got to bring. Just recently, on the course of Ogden and Orson, they put in a new service, 11 and a half feet from the fence line.
City
Code
ordinance,
is
George.
4 feet. You're right on the border there of the county.
We're
County
sitting
line.
here, we're doing county business, Just don't bring city
Okay.
business to us,
It's your
please.
building inspector.
I'm
He's
sorry.
not giving me a building permit. You're allowing selective enforcement that needs to stop. If you didn't want the job, you should have gone home.
The city, again, the city is hiring a new building inspector. Don't bring city appointments to us. Bring county stuff, things that the county is
I
involved in.
have.
George,
RTC
the
projects
items you
again,
brought
don't
up,
meet
I'm not gonna
ADA.
argue with you anymore, but the items this morning are almost all city.
Here's your senior center. That's county property. Does not meet ADA requirements. Your sidewalk has to be of concrete, not asphalt. I didn't make the rules. You guys did. You require no building permit. That's your building inspector as well as the city's. Here's a new roofing project by the former city attorney. Your building inspector is just looking the other way, yet he won't give me a permit and I'm willing to pay for it.
Your 3 minutes are up, George, and I appreciate your comments.
I want some action here, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You've been dragging your butt long enough.
Any other public comment? Anybody on the phone? Anybody in the building? Hearing none and seeing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Shane. Second by Ian. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
George, your RTC letter, that position is appointed by the city, so I couldn't do anything.
Did I forward you that?
The only RTC position,
Correctly.
RTC,
Yeah.
Regional transportation.
It's the one from Algonquin County.
I got only something asking for RPC, but let me go double check.
No, there should be two. One was for the Fair and Rec Board, the other one was for RTC.
When did you bring it?
gonna do it now.
You were gone. The 31st, I gave it to the
Oh.
call board. I can't remember.
They were not received in time to appear on this agenda, but, all right, we'll see you. I'll talk to the DA about it, about TC.
All right.
Bush. The resolution from Elko County. Yeah, you'll see it. See if I got the iPad to see too.
And I can remember how.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.